we're having a baby. How does that make you feel?
I think my immediate reaction is just very, very excited, and I am so, it sounds cliche, but full of love, expecting. But I mean, there's also obviously a ton of nerves involved, so nervous, excited.
What hopes and dreams do you have for him?
What hopes and dreams do I have for him? I hope that his life is filled with people who love and care for him and who can teach him how to be an empathic person in the world and a caring person in the world. And I hope that his life, he finds a lot of meaning in his life and a lot of connection in his life. And that's what I hope the most for him.
What if our child has schizophrenia?
Yeah, that's something that I have been afraid of ever since I got the diagnosis. And there was a period of time where I didn't want to have kids because I was primarily afraid of passing it on. And I was also afraid of my abilities to be an adequate mother. But in terms of whether or not our child will have schizophrenia, that's something that comes up a lot from people who criticize our decision to have a child. And that hurts my feelings for a few different reasons because, that's kind of saying that I shouldn't have been born because I have schizophrenia. And I don't feel that way. I don't agree with that sentiment. I think that there have definitely been times where I wish that I wasn't born, but on the whole, where I'm at now, I'm very grateful to be alive and to have lived the life that I've lived. And I've been able to find great meaning in my life. And so if my child has schizophrenia, I hope that he will be able to find the same sort of self-acceptance and meaning in his life. And I hope that, heaven forbid he does have schizophrenia, I, along with Rob, will be really great, guides through that. I will be able to really empathize with what he's going through and hopefully be able to teach him or, lead by example in terms of how to manage it.
What do you think will be the most difficult part of being a new mom?
Gosh, a lot of things. I am someone, I think, largely because of my illness, who is very dependent on regular sleep. And I just don't think that that's going to happen or it's going to be a challenge. So I think that that's going to be a really hard thing. I've never been a mom to an infant before, so learning everything for the first time is going to be a challenge. Taking on this role as a new mom to an infant with two other older kids is also kind of something that I'm nervous about, and I think it's going to be challenging, but I think it'll work out. I think we'll all find how we all fit together tackling this new challenge, and I think it'll be okay.
What do you want our future son to know about who you are right now?
It kind of feels like at this point that everything I've done up to this point has been to get to this moment of, welcoming him into this world and preparing myself and my life to be able to nourish him as best as possible. And so I want him to know that I am so excited for this next chapter with him, and I feel as ready as you can be, I guess, and very open to continuing to learn and continuing to try to build as good of a life around him, myself, and our family as possible.
What advice would you give our future son?
If I could talk to our son in the future the way I am right now, I think I would want to share with him my experience of struggle up to this point. And I would want to, share with him the challenges that I've faced, and that life isn't always easy. And so I think really sharing and talking with him about how life is going to be full of challenges for everyone. And I think that the greatest advice that I can give is to open yourself up as much as possible within those challenges, to work on self-growth and self-acceptance and self-compassion. And I think that every challenge that we're faced with provides opportunity for growth. And so really sharing how the challenges in my life have allowed me to grow more as a human and to have deeper connections in my life.